Picks.
Yes. We turn to you, Mr. New York Rick. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I mean,
That's it? That's all you give me?
No. There's just a lot to digest. You know, I'm still not quite processing it all. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
What is that?
Always repping.
From last year or 2 years ago?
This is from, unfortunately, it's from last year. As you know, I went to Game 4, one of the greatest finals games of all time.
I have to say, of all your T-shirt choices, this one seems to be the most odd.
Why? How so?
Usually it's fight related, you know?
Look, I rep for what I like, and I like the Cavs.
Okay. I've tried, someone told me to get kombucha.
Yeah.
What a mistake it was to get kombucha.
Not a fan, huh?
Well, it's fizzy, and you don't want to drink. Oh, nice cup. By the way, let's give a shout out to the gentleman who gave us these cups.
Yeah, Matt Bailey, the man.
Tell us about him.
Reached out, wanted to come check out the studio, sat in, had a good time, and brought us gifts. So shout out to you, Matt.
I got the Everton mug right over here.
I'm surprised you know what. Oh, there's words on it. So
what?
You wouldn't have recognized it by the crest, but for sure you can just read
Get out of here. And how about this right over here? Look at that. Look at that. Straight from the club themselves. My own kit, number 8. Neil Satis Nisi Optimum, Everton, 1878.
Now, when
the
you
finest
switch
club
teams, do you have to burn it?
all
or
the
what
lands.
happens?
Look at that, right over there. I'd wear it, but the headphones and everything.
Yeah, he'd wear it, but
no. Look, I mean, this is what an honor to get my own official jersey from my good friends at Everton. I thank them, and I look forward to wearing it on May 27th. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that. But thank you, Bailey. Thank you. Let me just drape it right over here. Yes, look at that. The finest club in Europe. Not just England, in Europe. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful.
Disgrace.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, let's kick off with some action from Friday night. We're going to the Bellator cage. Can we get audio up on this?
That hurts, and the damage it's doing. Oh,
beautiful flying knee from Adam Borics. Second round knockout.
I believe it's pronounced Borscht.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The great Sean Grandy on the call.
On the call for charity.
How great it was to hear him.
One more time. Here we go.
Up next after the main event. Oh, my goodness. Wow,
that right there, man, that hurts, and the damage it's doing. Oh,
oof. Out before he even hit the mat. Incredible knockout. Followed, that was the co-main event. Followed by this one here from two fighters we're familiar with, Benson Henderson and Roger Huerta. Henderson getting into his guard here.
That's why it's legal.
Stand up, go against the cage. It looked like he wanted to jump for it then.
Yeah. Benson, this was Benson's best performance
for Bellator, for sure, yeah. And then gets it. Here comes the tap. Benson getting it done in the first round against Roger Huerta, who stepped in after the main event fell off. We move now to the fight week that was. Starting with the New York Stock Exchange, tweeting out this photo from their Instagram.
Yes, how nice.
Daniel Cormier, Demetrius Johnson, Robert Whittaker, Stipe, Tyron Woodley, Amanda Nunes, the champions of the UFC.
Some of them.
Many of them, in fact. Ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange during Fight Week. Also from Fight Week.
Oh, come on. Why do you have to highlight that?
Interview with Felice Herrig here.
Good to see you. Good luck on Saturday, and stay warm, please. That was a fake out. I was just saying stay warm, but we can shake. Usually you're not supposed to shake hands with the left. That's disrespectful, so I'll give you the pound instead. Yeah, because my hands are very sweaty.
Oh, how is that disrespectful? I've never heard of that.
Well, just look it up. I don't want to talk. It's not appropriate to talk about now.
Oh, because that's the masturbating hand?
No, that is not. Just look it up.
Now,
Shoot, I thought for sure I was right.
No, that is
Okay.
not-
Now, truly, were you going for the handshake? Were you going for
Okay, I'll look it up.
What do you mean?
the point? What was the?
I don't like left-handed handshakes.
So you weren't going for the handshake. You were doing like a stay warm here.
Yes, I'll say
this is why
stay
you need to
warm. Yes, yes. I'm not. I mean, first of all, if you know me, I'm. You know,
You're not a handshaker in general.
you're
a fist bumper for sure.
because of germs. Not to say that I, feel like Felice is.
Yeah, this is a blanket thing.
It's a blanket thing. B, I have very sweaty palms. That's just a consistent thing in my life.
So you're being respectful. You're not.
I don't want
introducing
anyone to shake.
Yeah, sure.
Trust me, I have shaken hands with people who have sweaty palms. There's nothing worse. No one
Yeah.
wants that. But for some reason, I'm just always anxious. I don't know. It's weird.
In fact,
anyway,
you're rubbing your hands right now.
Yes. Oh, my hands are super sweaty. Are you kidding me? Got Ali over there going crazy in studio. It's a very tense thing. Anyway, I was just like kind of putting my hand out there, but that's happened before where people think I'm shaking hands.
And then there's the botched, daps with Diaz.
Yes,
and we won't continue with this. Okay. Also from Media Day, Region Al Iaquinta with the custom sign. Clearly a lot of production dollars put into highlighting the now title contender, Al Iaquinta, or maybe title contender. Who really knows what would have happened there. But had to create his own sign for Media Day, not granted one as the other fighters. I didn't know, as you said, that what was it? Who got two? Pettis, Holloway?
That they made two Pettis.
They made two
Yeah.
Anthony Pettises and no Al Iaquinta, but
And then, did you notice, by the way, when he was at the press conference?
that's right. They misspelled it
Yeah.
at the press conference as well. Speaking of Al, shout out to Al for this post-fight
I didn't notice that.
post-fight video that he gave us, feigning as if he was going to win this fight. But as we all know, Khabib, crown champion. But shout out to Al Iaquinta for stepping up and being entertaining leading into this fight. Now we're going to just check in on some of the fighters from the event and not from the event related to the lightweight title picture. Khabib posting to Instagram, thanking everybody who prayed for his victory. Here pictured with his new shiny belt. Max Holloway, looking like he's back at home.
No,
And he blessed.
this is New York.
Oh, what is this? Like Coney Island, maybe?
Yeah, look what he's wearing. I saw Minnie Blessed on the street, and I marked out. I was like, "Oh my God, Minnie Bless
I mean, he's the star. He's the star
in the
of show.
flesh."
Rocking the Warriors apparel, not Golden State Warriors for those
Yes.
who are listening, audio only.
Ironically, the Warriors is the school team name of Al Iaquinta's football
There you
team.
go.
How about that?
Conor McGregor earlier today with his first post on social media following the arrest. Blessed, what's it called? Praying hands. I was going to say blessed.
Do you think this
Taking
is
it back.
him begging for the Khabib fight?
I don't know if it's begging. I don't know if it's...
No. Do you think it
I
has
don't-
anything to do with I don't think it does. I think he's saying, like, thanks for the support. This is actually the first time I've seen this.
You've not seen this post.
I did not see it, no.
I think a lot of people were thinking it's begging. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But
But look at those back muscles.
yeah, impressive.
I mean, seriously.
I was expecting one of two things from Conor McGregor's first social post. Something either defiant or something either contrite, and I'm not sure which this is, if either. But maybe the second time we hear from him will be more illuminating. And lastly, from that same title picture, Tony Ferguson today
Oh, there he is.
going in for surgery, saying that he's no stranger to hard work, but thanking everybody who supported him, and he's going to be back. Now we move on to highlighting Zabit. The man got a lot of love for his performance. Back to, if you remember, ahead of the event in Australia, we had the Ozzy Man reviewing Yoel Romero and Luke Rockhold. Now he did a bit of commentary over Zabit and Bochniak's fight. Okay, can we bring up the audio?
I've got you now. Zabit says, no, take a look in the mirror, motherfucker. And spinny punch, no worries. Oh, look at that. Crazy face activated.
This guy's the man.
Ran out of fucks to give. He yells, fuck you. Zabit says, fuck you. Nah, fuck you. Nah, fuck you. Nah, fuck you. Nah, fuck you. Fuck you, mate. Nah, fuck you to hell and back. Fuck you. The referee says, fuck you both. It's over. And they hug it out.
Who is this guy?
Come on, we did. You don't remember this? I told you ahead of the Australian event. He did the Yoel Romero video. He did the Luke Rockhold video.
Yes.
Sharapov, I made a fucking mess of that surname, but I don't care. This has been a ripper of a fight. Hopefully it doesn't go tits up for either of them. They deserve to finish. Oh, there's a tired as fuck roundhouse. Bokniak is like, yeah, no thank you, mate. Return to sender. Now he says, it's my fucking turn. Zabit bounces off the cage and gets
Gonna have to bleep
around.
a lot of this.
Bokniak is like, I've got you now. Zabit says, no, take a look in the mirror, motherfucker.
Okay. Well done. Ozzy Man reviews. I always love when he weighs in on the MMA world. I'm guessing you didn't see this one, but it's absolutely incredible.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Zabit posting to his Instagram.
Is that from earlier today?
Yeah, either today or yesterday. But it was.
Well, look,
it was
no, they're wearing the same thing.
Very recent.
Unless they're wearing the exact same thing 2 days in a row.
Hey, look, you're traveling to New York, maybe.
Oh my God,
Esther said it is from today. So
that is amazing.
I mean, just spot on. Especially in New York, like what better place to have done it?
Zabit's hair is just phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, and man, the resemblance to Abraham Lincoln is just uncanny.
It really is.
It's absolutely incredible. But for those only listening, Zabit and Timur did a side-by-side comparison with the Sticky Bandits from Home Alone 2, and it's A+. It's spot on.
Well, actually, originally they were the Wet Bandits.
And then the Sticky
Yes, because you remember they used to go to people's houses and clog the drains.
Look at you, like, getting the Home Alone knowledge. I love this.
Whoa. If you know anything about me, it's that Home Alone was my favorite movie of all time as a kid. I went to the theater 4 times to see Home Alone 1.
I believe you,
in
but
person.
There's only like 3
I wrote a
movies you've ever
letter to Macaulay Culkin. I did a book report in, I believe, the 3rd or 4th grade on a 2-page TV guide Q&A with Macaulay Culkin, and I pretended it was a book. I failed the report, but that's how much I loved all things Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone. So
I respect that effort.
The Wet Bandits, and then it was the Sticky Bandits, Home Alone 2. Let us never speak of Home Alone 3, which was an atrocity.
Different kid, right?
Different kid. I mean, I hate when they do that.
No points for creativity from your school for the trying to do the.
No, they didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that seems. I would have rewarded that.
No.
Okay, more about Zabit. Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh my
you alluded
God,
to this.
my heart.
Your hero
It just melted. And by the way, in case you're wondering, I checked the timestamp at the, just to.
It was for Zabit, not for.
It was like
Khabib.
at 10:53 or something.
Yeah, this Dagestani dude is special, says Kristaps.
Can I say one thing about Kristaps?
Sure. Say many things. Talk to me.
I've tweeted about him a lot. I've retweeted. I never get any acknowledgement. I never get anything from him, and I feel like he doesn't appreciate my support of him. You know, I sat in front of him on the plane. Remember my 33rd birthday? You were there. You took the photo.
I was there. I remember.
You took the photo.
You damn near wedding yourself.
Yes, and I just it would be nice to get a nod.
This is the problem. You weren't assertive enough at that time. That was the time. He was a rookie. It was the opportunity to get in on the ground floor and be early and be like, look, I'm this guy. This is important for me. Let's start this relationship now. Now it's too late. Kristaps is too big. He's outgrown us.
Yeah.
But what could have been?
Okay. All right. Well,
I think, look, there will be a point where Kristaps shows the proper respect.
It would be nice. I've asked him to come on this program.
But for now,
our friend Jonah Ballo almost made it happen.
Yeah.
Then he left the Knicks. And now we have no ins with the Knicks anymore. It's a mess. However, my Utah Jazz are back in the playoffs, which is very exciting.
How can you do this where you're talking about the Knicks and then you transition to my Utah Jazz and still respect
and a West Coast
yourself?
team? East Coast, West Coast. Everyone has one of those. I love the Jazz. That's not a new thing. You know that.
Oh, yeah. 2 seasons.
Can we talk about Brock Lesnar? When are you getting to that?
No, not yet. Not yet. Jeez, relax yourself.
Okay.
Actually, really soon. But we're going to wrap up with some more scenes from Fight Week. Olivier Aubin-Mercier, who we had on the show earlier, saying the USA have UFC gangsters in the Diazes.
This might be
Ireland
my favorite tweet of all time, period, in the history of
gangster
Twitter.
in Conor. Russia has a UFC gangster in Khabib. Don't worry, Canada, I got your back. Pictured here with the fanny pack around his neck. He has really stepped his social
God, I
media
love
game
this
up.
guy. I mean, there's just like
We don't worry, we got more from him
Oh.
from Fight Week. Also, there's a transformer behind him, which was
this is the best one.
interesting. There was a flyer denying access to some of the
By
individuals
the way, I'm
involved with.
pretty darn sure
Conor McGregor.
that Owen
Yeah.
Roddy was not there. I just want to make that
There's
clear.
a little bit of debate. Some people are sending me blurry screenshots saying that's him. Some people are saying that's not him. I really don't know. There's only one way to find out. That's when Owen Roddy speaks.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
What we have is
Most of those
Olivier.
people, by the way, were not there. Why did they choose those people?
It is a weird.
Like
You would think that.
you know the guy on the bottom left is not before the TriStar guys.
Go ahead and tell us.
You don't know who that is.
I know who that is.
That is the founder of SevereMMA.com, Graham.
And I'm sure he could not be happier to have.
Oh, he loves this. This is
yeah.
amazing for him.
I saw a little bit.
But
on,
like that guy
Twitter about
is
that.
just like, let's pick all the
Let's pick
Irish
a
people
random
that we
Irish
know.
It's not a bad strategy.
It's very strange.
They could have just
look-
put a
I'm
map
like-
of
I'm-
Ireland.
I'm-
Do not allow.
I'm 100% sure that John Kavanagh was in Budapest with
Yeah, he was. He
with,
was for a Bellator.
yes, with Brian Moore.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, let's just pick these random guys.
Just, hey, look, you just put.
By the way,
another
why isn't
Irish-
Conor on there? Or the other guy who got
That's-
arrested?
Well, why is Conor not on there is a great question.
And then there was that Barstool video that emerged. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh yeah. There was a Barstool video where some guy took a video saying that Conor McGregor was in attendance, just like some guy walking around with two cups of beer. Like Conor would just be like, chilling.
Did
and
he
walk-
look like Conor?
Yeah,
Was it
he
that
was a guy with a
bodybuilder guy
beard.
from the West Coast?
He was a guy with a beard wearing a suit. It wasn't Conor. Stupid.
Well, we're cutting off the point here. Olivier
Yes, that was the best
capitalized
part.
on this banning of random Irish people. Apparently, nobody really involved with it except for Artem Lobov, to add his team to the poster showing that he's wanted, saying they will never catch us alive. More social media goodness from him, and then finally, I know this broke your heart, Olivier shaving the mustache.
By the way, I noted on Twitter after I saw this, I said this was the saddest moment on Twitter since Anthony Davis shaved the unibrow.
That was fake.
That was fake?
Yeah, it was an April Fool's joke.
When did he come out and say it was an April Fool's?
The next day.
It looked so real. What did he do?
They have this thing. It's called Photoshop.
No, but it's a video.
Yeah, you can
You can Photoshop video
you can
too?
edit frames.
Oh,
There's all kinds of editing
God.
magic that can go.
So
on.
it was a Red Bull thing? That's why he was wearing the towel on his
It was
shoulder?
a promotion and it worked.
God, I hate April Fools. Anyone who does April Fools, other than my mom, of course.
Other than who
know
you've
what?
said is the queen of April
I'm
Fools
just gonna
now.
stop there.
But yes, this is for real.
All right.
Unfortunately. Some news that broke during the show.
What is
from
this?
Guilherme Cruz. What do you mean?
No, this news. It's the stupidest thing in the
okay.
world. Enough already. Can we leave the man alone?
USADA announced that Nick Diaz has accepted a 1-year sanction for a violation. In parens, 3 unsuccessful test attempts during a 12-month period. He's free to fight on April 19, 2018. So
Wait, he's free to fight in 10 days?
yes,
What?
yes. This is the
What?
this is the breaking news.
You're kidding.
He accepted the 1-year suspension.
What do you
He's
mean?
now free to fight in 10 days.
What? I don't understand.
The suspension is retroactive because of the 3 unsuccessful attempts. It happened
But-
April 19th.
But then you're not suspending him. You're suspending him for 10 days.
Yeah, that is essentially that is what's happening. But it is in actuality a suspension.
Is there a
retroactive
fine?
to last year? I don't believe so.
You're
I
kidding.
didn't see anything about money.
This can't be true.
This is true.
That has
they,
to say-
they issued a statement.
What are you talking about? 2018? Where's the date?
Did nobody like slack you or
No, I was interviewing freaking
you're
Beat the Dream.
looking at Brock Lesnar stuff? This is the real big deal. Nick Diaz is back.
Wait. So I'm talking to these guys, and I see Nick Diaz's name like pop
Yeah.
up a million times, but I can't fully
Sure,
dive in.
that is what it is.
And they sent out a press release to
I don't know-
essentially say that a man has been suspended for 10
I
days.
saw a statement
A
posted.
man who has shown no interest in fighting whatsoever is suspended for 10 days.
Again,
But
that's the gist of it.
you
That is the
understand?
summation of it.
okay, so this would be like me committing a crime a year ago,
Sure.
them finally catching me and saying, "Oh, you did time because, it was a year ago and we don't know what exactly you were doing. So we're going to give you a year suspension, but a year jail time. But oh, guess what? It's been, like, what is the point? I cannot.
I don't know what the point is. I know that this is what's happening. But
Wow.
the fact that we can ask the question, what is the point, makes me think that maybe there is some reason that,
There is no reason for this.
well,
To say what? To flex your muscles?
maybe not from that perspective, but maybe there's an interest in having him eligible to fight.
Wait, so are they telling us that this is the reason why he wasn't fighting?
That's possible. I doubt that, though.
Let me just read this. Like all UFC athletes, Diaz is a member of the UFC registered testing pool and is therefore subject to certain whereabouts responsibilities, which allow him to be located for out-of-competition testing. Diaz failed to be available for 3 tests at the locations provided in his whereabouts filings. The first 2 failures occurred in the second and third quarters of 2016. We're talking about something that happened in 2016, while the third occurred in the first quarter of 2017. Under the UFC's anti-doping policy, the accumulation of 3 whereabouts failures within a 12-month period constitutes an anti-doping violation. Okay. It began on April 19, 2017, the 1-year period. The date on which his third whereabouts failure was declared against him. During this period of eligibility, Diaz remained subject to no advance, As such, Diaz will be... Now, unless they're telling us that this is why he hasn't fought, because why would it take a year for them to make this announcement? It's not like you have to go through any sort
Doesn't it have to do with the process of him accepting that punishment?
This is silly.
It's a recognition of
can't
him agreeing to that term.
Right.
So he's accepted, and now he's eligible to fight.
All right.
Now, there's no guarantee after this point that he continues to be tested. I don't imagine that much will change, and I don't think he'll be submitting himself for USADA testing unless he wants to fight. So we'll see what happens, because 3 more unsuccessful tests could just happen right now. Moving on to the next Rick's pick.
I just want to know whether or not this was precluding him from fighting. That's the real question.
Sure.
Here. If it wasn't, then this was a total waste of time. If it was, now we've finally gotten the answer as to why he hasn't fought. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
That's the key piece of information. Did they give him this sanction a year ago, or did it take them a year, like Josh Barnett, to sanction him, and then this is just a colossal waste of time?
I'm thinking the latter, but we will find out. Katarina Lanner posting here that Invicta FC 29 is happening on May 4th. The rest of the card announced recently, getting a title shot against Sarah Kaufman on May 4th. This from MMA Fighting's Instagram account.
Yeah, that's a
And we have finally reached that moment you're
Yes.
talking about.
What are the chances he faces the winner of DC?
The voice of Ariel.
Please.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Daniel Cormier's face reacting to the idea that Brock Lesnar versus either Stipe or Cormier is a realistic possibility. And now, that breaking news from WWE announcing that Brock Lesnar has re-signed with WWE and will defend his championship against Roman Reigns in a steel cage match at WWE Greatest Royal Rumble. Thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this are that I believe that there's a lot of gamesmanship going on here. We have to remember that WWE, they're protecting storylines. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not certain that this isn't a work. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Maybe I could say that another way. This is a work. I stand by what I said last week. But then there's the weird stuff. Like when Dana came out and said he's coming back and everyone's like, that was a spoiler. In my mind, I was like, oh, he's 100% winning at WrestleMania. Because when everything seems obvious, then they always go with the swerve. It's always like that in professional wrestling. It's always like that in WWE. So the fact that he kept saying it so many times made me think, okay, he's trying. They're in on it together. He's gonna win, which he does win. But then everyone's like, wow, that means he's coming back. And then they put this out that he's re-signed. Well, how long is he re-signed for? How many years has he re-signed for? How many matches? How many events? You notice that I read the statement on WWE.com. You notice that was not in there?
Yeah, and realistically, being signed doesn't preclude him from doing one or the other.
He was under contract
last
when he fought. Yeah,
he's under contract with both, so it doesn't.
So I saw a reporter say that Adam Silverstein of CBS say Brock Lesnar has spurned UFC and re-signed with WWE.
I don't get that from this.
I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, but it is not news.
By the way, this is here's Jeremy Botter, because I see this on our Google Groups chat. He reported, my understanding is, Jeremy Botter of Bleacher Report, my understanding is Lesnar signed for one more match. Audible called by Vince during the match last night when Roman wasn't getting over at all. Now Lesnar will lose the belt in front of a more conducive audience. This stuff I don't know about the audibles and whatnot, but I do know what I reported last week was accurate. I also said that, it's not done until it's done. Remember, Brock Lesnar was in the ESPN studio about to do an interview with Michelle Beadle when he announced his quote-unquote retirement from MMA, and Lorenzo Fertitta called him up and said, name a price. Whatever it takes, we'll bring you back. And at that point, he said no. But like this stuff with Brock we've talked about this. He is the best public negotiator. He just does it better than anyone without having to do much. So this stuff is par for the course of them. Here's more from Botter. There may be an extra TV appearance in the deal, but at most, I'm told this is a 2-appearance deal. Now it's likely we'll see Lesnar in WWE beyond these 2 appearances, but not for a while and likely less than we are used to. He's committed to putting everything he has into UFC. As far as Lesnar and UFC goes, he's currently targeting to face DC Stipe, winner, year-end show in December. I suspect he'll be back in WWE for a Mania appearance after that, especially if he wins the heavyweight title.
Yep.
By the way, don't be surprised if John Jones gets, the gift of all gifts, that they go that route as well.
Sure. And the timing would work out. December leaves plenty of time to re-enter the USADA testing pool.
So I see all these people tweeting me. I'm like, what's going on? Brock Lesnar, Nick Diaz, and it ends up being much ado about nothing.
Also from WWE, MMA's own Shayna Baszler winning the Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver this week, followed by stablemate Ronda Rousey making her debut the next night at WrestleMania.
And what a match it was.
Here we go.
Did you watch?
I did watch.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. Other than, man, the camera cutting really bothered me. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Just so much switching camera angles. Just like, why are they switching these now? Why do I need to? But I enjoyed it, and I thought Ronda did really, really well for her first time. Did you watch?
Yeah, now I'm seeing this report from Brett Okamoto that Floyd's bodyguard, this guy I text with him all the time, was shot in the leg.
He was, yes.
What? He's Canadian, Gregory LaRosa? What's going on in this world? He's actually a really nice guy. Well, that's very sad.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
The fight game is getting very dangerous.
I did watch. I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was a fun match. I thought it actually, she exceeded expectations. She was in great shape. I think that they need to get her an outfit that fits better so that she's not continuously like fixing it. I thought that was a little distracting. I thought Kurt Angle was awesome. I'm very happy for him. He's been through a lot, and it was great to see him back. I thought Stephanie and Triple H were great. For what it was, I told you how I felt about the booking.
Yeah.
But for what it was fun. And it was cool to see her do all those moves. It was fun. But I had a major issue with it. I had a major issue with it because I'm an old school wrestling fan. I'm not into your like 25 spot fest, 100, near falls.
Be careful. Daniel Cormier took a lot of heat for this.
I agree with him 1,000%. I'm from the era, you hit your finisher, it's lights out. No matter what. No matter what. Hogan hits the leg drop, lights out. No matter what. Goldberg hits the spear, no matter what. Yep. Lights out. Taker hits the tombstone, no matter what, lights out. Freaking Greg the Hammer Valentine hits the elbow, no matter what, lights out.
Okay, we got it.
I am from that era. So when she is trying to hit the armbar, and it looks pretty damn sunken in,
Yeah.
and 41-year-old Stephanie McMahon, CEO of the company, mother of 3, non-athlete, is fighting it off and eventually getting out of it.
I take exception to non-athlete, but continue.
0 for 4. 0 for 4. That is not putting over Ronda Rousey. To me, Ronda Rousey had an amazing luxury going into this fight. She is already over. We know who she is, right? We know who she is.
Yeah.
We know her character. We know her theme song. We know her finisher. Usually when you come into WWE for the first time, your first match, it takes like 10 appearances to get the finisher over. She has a built-in finisher. Daniel Cormier doesn't have a built-in finisher. John Jones doesn't have a built-in. I would say 99.9% of MMA fighters don't have a built-in finisher. She had a built-in finisher in MMA, and we've seen how lethal it is. When Miesha Tate survived for 10 seconds, that was news and eventually tapped. Did not get out of it, but just prolonged it. And Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are getting out of it? Are you kidding me? What they should have done was ankle lock, Kimura, arm triangle, rear naked choke. They get out of those. But then once she got the armbar on the 5th try, lights out. It should be automatic. It should be every time you see her going for the arm and the person escapes, oh, she almost got it. But if she gets it, it's lights out. That was my big problem with the match. That is a major, major flaw. That thing should be more over than anything. That's her finisher. And they just they watered it down on the first attempt. That was very disappointing. The other thing that bothered me a little bit, she walks out like she's the celebrity timekeeper, waving, saying hello to everyone, like you're in the match. You're in the match. Colby Covington, that's one of the only things that he said that I agreed with on this episode. Like, stop acting like you're a celebrity there on some kind of appearance deal, that you're there to just, be the celebrity ring announcer. You're Ronda Rousey. You're out for revenge. They slammed you. They like, come on, play it up. Don't smile. Enough of this smiling. It's over. So, look, it was fun. She has a future. She's happy. More power to her. She spoke to Ramona Shelburne afterwards. She talked about Amanda Nunes. She said her name. Finally, she said Holly Holm's name. Let's just move on. Enough is enough. It's over. She handled it the way she handled it. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Kudos to her. She spoke about it. But, man, you had a chance to really put over that finish. That finisher, the armbar, and you blew it. So that was my problem with it. And I didn't want to be the negative guy poo-pooing, because I know everyone's like, oh, you're poo-pooing, you're being too negative. But let's be honest. Any old school pro wrestling fan will say the exact same thing. Any old school pro wrestler will say the exact same thing. The finisher needs to be sacred. It needs
what
to
if
be
she's
lethal.
moving to a new finisher?
No, well, that would be dumb, because now you need to program the audience to believe in that. They've already name an MMA fighter with a finisher, like a go-to move.
Paul Harris.
Okay. So imagine Paul Harris going to WWE and taking 5 tries to submit someone with a leg lock.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you at all.
I saw that. I was like, oh, the match is over already? Oh, wait. Stephanie McMahon just got out of it.
Maybe Stephanie's just that good, though.
Get out of here. That really pissed me off.
Okay.
But respect her.
CM Punk making an appearance. With a very special attendant.
Chickpea in my salad. What is this? Sorry, Mr. Punk. Sorry, Mr. Punk. I said no chickpeas.
CM Punk going Hollywood.
Nice to see these two together.
But yes, nice to see 2 former pro wrestlers together.
Yes.
Now to the world of Hollywood. Chris Pratt. Last time we showed.
We love Chris Pratt.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's showing love to the legends of our sport. Last time, grappling with Randy Couture, talked about his background in amateur wrestling. This time, getting some reps in with Big Nog. I just think it's dope. He's A-lister, getting it in with a legend. His captions are very long though, too much so.
I mean, really,
to read.
It was time for that.
Ariel earlier today dropping a little bit of news that Kingsguard Gaming, the Kings esports franchise, as people may have noticed, there's a lot of activity about NBA esports recently. They've named Uriah Faber as the team's director of mental performance and human optimization. Faber's role will be to help Kingsguard's players mentally and physically prepare for competition per a release. So, Coach Uriah Faber branching off from the MMA world into the world of esports.
Amazing, right?
Getting the Kings esports team
I'll
ready.
tell you something about Uriah Faber.
For competition.
There may not be a savvier businessman in MMA than this guy. He's all over the place. He's like the Oscar De La Hoya, except for, all that other stuff of MMA. I fully believe that at some point he's going to run a promotion or manage a ton of fighters.
Maybe it doesn't even happen in the fight game. Maybe this is a move to greener pastures. Lastly, we end on Francis Ngannou.
Yes.
Returning home.
That was cool, right? I saw a video of him doing.
Yeah, I thought this was a video, but I guess I grabbed a still. But putting in some hard work at home and not forgetting where he came from.
And by the way, CM Punk Mike Jackson is on. Announced last week.
We're gonna talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
We'll run through these real quick.
Yes. Bellator back. Bellator 197 on Friday. UFC on Fox in Glendale on Saturday. Another busy weekend coming up in MMA.
I said we'll run through this quick. These are some heady questions.
What?
Will Conor McGregor face any consequences? Or will he be able to wiggle his way out of the situation?
It's impossible for me to answer that. You got to be very careful when it comes to this stuff because this is not the UFC sanctioning him.
Sure.
This is New York State.
Legal entities,
yes. This is
governing bodies.
This is, does Michael Chiesa, who, by the way, I said, I think at the beginning of the show or in the middle of the show, I asked him to come on. He's been advised not to. What there's so many different layers to this.
Sure.
So I can't possibly predict that.
Is it possible, from Brian, is it possible that a few months back from now, we will look back on the infamous quote-unquote bus attack as brilliant publicity? And also, in what light do you view the situation as it pertains to the UFC's search for a new TV deal?
From what I'm told, the TV deal is pretty close to done, so I don't think this changes much.
Will we look at this as a net positive or negative?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because, I see this kind of chatter and it feels a little tone deaf right now. Like we can acknowledge that at some point the UFC is going to use this as a promotional tool. And we've seen crazy things happen in the world of combat sports. Remember Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis getting into that brawl at the press conference and Tyson biting his leg and, saying the things that he said at the press conference. Of course, Tyson and Evander Holyfield and what happened there with the ear. And Mike Tyson is beloved. So do I think that Conor McGregor is going to be less popular as a result of this? Not really. Do I think that some people maybe are losing patience with him or, aren't as supportive of him? It's possible. But I do believe, luckily for him, no serious injuries, no life-threatening injuries, that this isn't going to change much. And I'm just seeing it from my own Twitter. What a G, what a gangster. He put 155 on his mugshot. Did you notice that?
I did.
I mean, people love this stuff. He walks out with his head held high, with his chest out.
Bailed out by friend
Dylan Dennis, which was crazy to see that unfold as well. I mean, I don't even know if I mentioned that at the top of the show. It was just the most surreal 30 hours in the history of this sport. And, I was very appreciative of the fact that I was able to cover it. But it did make me sad. I don't want to see Conor like that. No one wants that. No one wants that. And no one wants to see Chiesa injured, and no one wants to see Borg injured and Rose
Even
crying.
if it does end up raising, the profile of people or events or whatever, this is not the right way to go about it. This is not the way to get that
please
done.
let us stop with the planned WWE UFC story. This didn't happen. Was it planned on Conor's part to go there? Yes, of course. But no one sat down with the UFC and said, okay, we're going to do this and you're going to roll here. No, that didn't happen. That just didn't happen.
Derek asks, would last week's event have gone differently had it not been in New York? For example, Max Holloway would have been able to cut. Felder might have been able to be considered. Was the fact that Holloway didn't make it to the fight and Felder not being considered a New York specific issue?
I don't know. I mean, look, is the New York Commission a little more hesitant when it comes to these situations? Yeah, I think we've seen that. I think we've seen that. But I don't know what's going to happen. Hello, Esther. How are you? Goodbye, Esther. It's impossible to say what was going to happen. It's impossible to say what Nevada would have done. You heard Paul Felder say that. I will say this, all this stuff happening with Conor, of all places, right? I kept thinking about Sheldon Silver, the assemblyman speaker who was the roadblock to getting this board.
Vehemently.
And like of all places for this to happen. This could have been way worse on so many different levels. It really could have. They show up to media day. People get injured there. Media gets injured. Innocent bystanders get. I mean, like this could have been so much worse. And for it to happen in New York State, the place that has been lukewarm. Now, financially, it's been phenomenal for New York State to have MMA here, but
sure,
this really could have been so much worse.
Absolutely. Jack asks, did Iaquinta expose any flaws in Khabib's game this weekend?
Listen,
a lot of talk about this.
I was watching that broadcast, and I have the utmost respect for Rogan and for Jimmy Smith, but I thought the broadcast was off. I mean, I was listening to them say that it was very clear that he could take Iaquinta down at will. Now, I know that there were a couple of takedowns stopped and maybe he got a little tired, but it was it was Khabib Nurmagomedov's decision to keep that standing. And to me, it felt like an ego thing, and we've kind of confirmed that with the Muhammad Ali story. I didn't understand what they were talking about. And a lot of the punches that they were saying were like, whoa, like they were either missing or hitting his shoulder.
Sure.
So I don't think he exposed anything. If anything, I thought it was brilliant because I think now people think Conor has a better chance. Tony Ferguson has a better chance.
I agree with that. I don't think we learned much new about Khabib. No, and I think Javier Mendez said it best, like, or even Ali, like nobody's estimation of Khabib that he was some kind of world-class striker, that he was,
if anything, I think his striking has actually improved.
Yeah, his jab looked fine. I thought he utilized it to great effect. And
he wasn't getting hit very hard. He was actually, eluding punches.
Sure, the things he was good at, he continued to be good at, and when he wanted to, he was steamrolling that fight. But I think Iaquinta does deserve some credit for the performance he put up on 24 hours notice. As does this is lost in this, as does Khabib. People forget that he took the fight on
5 different opponents. He was being talked about for 6 days, right?
It's disingenuous to say, kudos to Al without saying kudos to Khabib. Even though people are, the expectations are greater, obviously, because he's now the champion. But the guy performed. In my opinion. And Kristen asks about, do we remember the announcement that CM Punk versus Mike Jackson was made official for UFC 225? That news seems to have been completely forgotten after the past few weeks.
Yeah, well, they obviously didn't plan this, but they picked the worst day to announce it because it completely got buried. But yes,
we're getting CM Punk and Mike Jackson.
I told you that was the fight. That was always the fight. That was the only fight.
I'd like to see them talking about it now, but
what do you mean them?
Mike and Punk. But we're getting the fight.
Yeah.
You talked to TJ about this. How do you feel about TJ and Cody shaking hands and embracing after the press conference?
I didn't care. I mean, we don't know what he said, and you heard what he said to him from TJ himself. Who cares? Yeah. He's saying, "You got me. Best of luck. Whatever. Who cares? You care?"
No, I mean.
By the way, it wasn't in back of a curtain. Like there was an entire arena. That was. It wasn't like we caught them doing something. Everyone was there watching.
I don't buy anything that is said or done during those big press conferences with 20 fighters anyway. So I wasn't necessarily thinking that they wouldn't be able to.
The fight that I wanted to see the most after all that was Usman Covington.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not happening, that fight.
Lastly, from Daniel, where is the Khabib champion picture you promised him would go up on the wall?
Yeah, I know, but geez. Can you give me some time? How quickly do you think we get these things printed up?
We'll have Esther.
Would be nice. I'll put it there. It's okay. I'll take it down. I'm not taking down my black belt. I'll tell you that much. Look at this thing.
Where did that come from? Why would you take it down?
I earned that thing. You know who I'm texting with right now?
Who?
My buddy Greg. Floyd's bodyguard.
Give us the update.
He says he's okay. In fact, he said never been better.
I don't know. That seems disingenuous.
They got his leg. He's walking, but it hurts. 3 hours in the hospital. Doesn't know who did it. But I'm happy he's okay.
Well, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. What do you got?
I mean,
Wrap
I don't
us
know.
up.
Get
out of here.
I still can't quite put it all into the proper context, but I think we did.
I think we talked to the right people.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
I mean, it would have been nice to have Conor in studio, but you know. No,
I think that one might be a little tough.
Listen, it was the craziest 30 hours in. My phone is like doing the voice thing. It was the craziest 30 hours. It was dizzying, and I'm just proud of our coverage. And I hope we don't get a lot of days like that in MMA. You know, it was sad to see Conor in that light. I was sad to hear about Kesa. I was sad to hear about Ray Borg. You're showing me a teddy bear. I don't know what
Esther
to think.
just gave this to me.
Oh, okay. What is that? For your daughter?
Yeah, I think so. There's a little note. I haven't read it yet, but she had to run.
I had a daughter too. Where's my teddy bear?
You know, some people are nicer to others.
That's true. But it was crazy. It was unbelievable, and I just want to thank everyone who followed along, and hopefully it works out for everyone involved. I mean, just again, for those two things to happen simultaneously, and I'm in the courthouse running out to confirm that Iaquinta is stepping in, and it's freaking Al Iaquinta of all people, you know, and all the appearances on this show, and how great of a guy he is, and finally getting that opportunity. I just couldn't, like, I was trying to explain it to my wife, and I was like, this doesn't even, again, it does not feel real. It does not feel real. Did not feel real. And then, of course, Saturday just comes and goes. You know, like I was thinking, okay, there's only one way for all of this to end, and that's Iaquinta leaving as the recognized champion. If you didn't think the lightweight division title picture was weird enough, then we get the recognized champion. I mean, that would have been a mess.
Yeah, somebody slips in the locker room.
God. But in the end, it kind of just happens. I mean, Zabit breaks his hand.
Yeah,
That's
some good
weird.
performances.
Yeah,
but nothing deviating from norm.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you for the hard work this week.
Thank you.
Goodbye. I toast to you.
Yes. I'm going to drink my kombucha now so I don't burp. Cheers.
Dink.
Thank you, Bailey. Appreciate it. All right. We are done. You can hear my music. By the way, this episode feels like it has flown by. I looked up and it was already 4:30. But I appreciate everyone who tuned in. What a week. Still don't know what to say. What a week. Also announced last week, Donald Cerrone versus Leon Edwards, June 23rd in Singapore. Canelo Triple G is off. Matt Brown injured, so Carlos Condit is fighting Charles Oliveira this week. Glendale, Dustin Poirier against Justin Gaethje, great fight. Colby Covington RDA moved, as we talked about. TJ Cody 2 in LA. Ben Rothwell was given a 2-year suspension by USADA. All kinds of madness. And Floyd Mayweather saying that if he comes back to fighting, it's going to be in the UFC at 145 pounds. Crazy times, my friends. Crazy, crazy times. Still can't believe everything that happened, but I'm glad we're able to put it behind us. Glad we're able to cover it the way we did. Glad we're able to do this show. Glad we're able to talk to the people who came on the show today. What a show it has been. Wow, a who's who. Can't thank them all enough. Thank you so much to Max Holloway. Best of luck to him. Thank you very much to Rose Namajunas. I was so afraid for Rose that incident would have affected her performance. Way to rise to the occasion. Way to perform like a champ. And what a great fight from not only her, but Joanna as well. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much to Al Iaquinta. Salute to you, my friend. Great stuff. Thank you very much to Paul Felder, Anthony Pettis. Congrats to Javier Mendez. Thank you to Colby Covington, Olivier Aubin-Mercier. All the best to Ray Borg. Thank you, TJ Dillashaw. And thank you, Zabit Magomed Sharipov and Ali Abdelaziz as well. Back next week, same time and place. Till the same. Peace. I'm out of here.